Decarbonization has been their climate Kool-Aid. This is what they've latched onto as the problem. Fortunately, Lee Zeldin and Donald Trump don't think that's a problem. That's why they've moved to rescind the endangerment finding, because they know that CO2 emissions aren't harmful to our environment or our health. But if you really think that that's the problem, then nuclear is the answer. And these groups are launching campaigns to fight any kind of nuclear energy renaissance here in the United States.
All right, so tell us if you've heard this one before. The green energy groups opposing the White House's nuclear power renaissance are actually a coordinated network of dark money-funded activists with ties to the Democrat Party. That's according to the American Energy Institute. Its research shows that ideology, not innovation, is motivating these organizations because it's never really been about the planet. It's always been about the power. And that's such a great pun, whoever wrote that, because we're talking about power in the literal sense, but we're also talking about political power. So let's tease out what Isaac is really talking about here. If he's right, why would the left not want to have energy dominance like President Trump and the administration have been proposing? They don't want national security because that's what he wants. Why don't they want national security? They don't want it because nobody really should have it, because we should be living in this borderless society, this utopia that they want to live in. And what happens when you kill energy and don't allow anybody to get ahead or have that power, as we put it, the end result actually furthers globalism, and that is their agenda. Marcus.
Well, I'm from Lebanon, and this may not be relevant to many, but the energy crisis in the Middle East was the root of all the issues. We can't have energy dependency on other people. We have to have alternatives.
Yeah.
It's that simple for me. And this idea that everybody wants things to be utopia is just not real.
Brian.
At least from my perspective.
Well, the idea that there's a bunch of dark money funding this is obviously not surprising, but why do they do it is an interesting question. And I'm persuaded that it's not that they're just. I totally agree that they want borderless society and their anti power, but I think that's actually more anti-human. I actually think the really hardcore climate zealots have a problem with humanity on this earth. They think humans show up and wreck things. They're the same people decades ago who said we're all going to die from a population bomb, okay? We're going to overpopulate society. And they pushed policies that tried to kill human beings in order to fight depopulation. And I just think if you view humans as the problem, you're always going to be pushing policies like this. And if you view humans as a fundamentally good thing and solution creators, then you're going to be pro the energy policies that they can create and the energy innovations they can create. But to me, it's very philosophical, and it's actually a referendum on who's pro-humanity and who's anti-humanity. And the climate religious zealots, I think, are fundamentally anti-humanity.
Yeah. I like that. And I would say the philosophy of it, as you're talking about what I'm calling the ideology, whether it's about humanity or power, I think they kind of are symbiotic in some ways when you talk about it, Lou, because energy is a big business here. It's not just national security, and President Trump understands that also. And so if we have these resources, why aren't we tapping into them? That would be so capitalistic, right? That would be capitalism at its best.
Big business is an understatement. It is actually the most profitable business per employee that is in existence. That generates the most revenue per employee is technology, but energy is the most profitable, pays out the most cash and dividends as a sector universally. But I think this is about control. We talked about it with Mamdani wanting to come in and turn over the grocery stores to the city, right, and have them state run. Why? Because it's control. You control the food supply, you can control the electorate. If you control the power supply, you literally control the people, because access to energy universally allows you to do everything. I mean, think about
to what end?
I don't know. That's my thing. I think there's a deeper philosophical thing that's going on. Alex Epstein gets into this with Jordan Peterson a bit on the philosophical. Is Earth the most important thing, or is humanity the most important thing? And when you're on the extreme that the Earth is the most important thing, and therefore we should limit our overall impact and not have kids and diminish how many people should be on the Earth. I don't even
when you
understand
view
that.
Earth at odds with humanity,
correct,
and you decide I'm going to I'm going to worship Earth, then humans are the problem, and what powers humans is a problem because you have more humans, right? Humans expand when you have power. If you limit their power, then the human population doesn't expand.
But Brian, if you didn't want to get that extreme, just for this argument, the presupposition is that everybody else is here to destroy things.
Yeah. So
the opposite of preservation is destruction. And so that would assume that everybody on this panel and everybody watching wakes up every day and says, let me burn as much as I can. Let me throw trash everywhere. Let me pour gas down the drain. Let me do all those things. That's not happening.
But so off of your point there, I think what's the objection is that, oh, you're using so much of this and it's so terrible. How terrible is it? We're the most productive nation on the planet. We use a lot of energy and we use it to good end.
Here's the energy stat that no one really thinks about. The average American refrigerator uses more electricity per year than the average person in a third world country does in their entire year for everything to conduct their life. Why? This is about energy poverty. We talk about income inequality. We're talking about energy poverty. You talked about in Lebanon, the Middle East. It's a battle over access to energy and independence. Energy is, if you chart and correlate energy access and reliability with life expectancy, incomes, they positively correlate. You provide more access to energy, people can get out of poverty, and they live longer.
Like
you've seen it happen in China and India in the last 15 years. Dramatic increases in energy access, dramatic increases into incomes and life expectancy.
I would add something to that, too. In the AI revolution, I think this president, this administration understands that whoever's going to dominate is going to have the access to energy. And right. He has said that he wants this country to be number one. And so as things are evolving and technology is changing, energy becomes even more important than you could possibly imagine it being today, as important as it is. And so that's another reason, Brian, that I think the globalists want to try to take it away from the United States because they don't feel that we deserve to continue to be number one.
If you don't
countries
love
that want to eat our lunch.
If you don't love the American experiment, why would you want the American experiment to predominate around the world? And I just don't think they do.
The opposite side of the spectrum of the Mother Earth is the superior thing is human flourishing, right? If you believe in humanity, you want all humans to flourish as much as possible. So
and by the way,
those things are diametrically opposed. You can't have rational policies. So it doesn't surprise me that people that have different views are funneling money to accomplish their agendas that many of us might not understand.
Right. Good point.
Yeah, and I love the way we started it talking about nuclear because nuclear has become actually one of the cleanest sources and they're fighting it so hard in the name of climate change and destruction, but nuclear does not contribute to that in the same way that other
arguments human creativity advanced it. It's human creativity that advanced it.
Right. I don't know if people can see this, but the windmill that's in the back of the picture behind everybody, I drive around all the time. Yeah. I never see them turning.
Yeah.
Ever. They're never moving.
Yeah. They kill birds.
Do you know how much they cost to put up one of them? Anybody know?
No, I don't know.
Got to be well over $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know how much costs?
You know how much energy is sunk into that?
Them?
Yeah.
Probably another $1 million.
It's an environmental disaster. Yeah. All the rare earths.
We don't ever talk about the life cycle of an electric vehicle or a windmill. How much energy in the supply chain contributes to emissions. When you all in, it doesn't work out as advertised.
It's not economic.
We need all things.
Could we all use a little less electricity? Could we?
I always shut the lights because you know what? I pay my electricity bill, and I'm not interested in running it up when I'm not home. So I set the thermostat when I leave so the air isn't running all the time. There are things that we all can do as reasonable people, and I think people do
be a responsible citizen.
But that doesn't mean I want to kill business.
Yeah.
All right, quick.